to Minneapolis, where there's the guy, PJ Fleck, in year 10. He's the second longest tenured coach in the league. And there's the Gophers at work, building around quarterback Drake Lindsey and workhorse back Darius Taylor. The expectations in the Twin Cities haven't been this high in a while. Fleck wouldn't have it any other way. Here's our guy, Dave Revson, and the crew from Minneapolis inside Gophers camp.
Michelle, thanks. Here with Jerry DiNardo and Howard Griffith. What a run it's been for PJ Fleck here in Minneapolis. It's hard to believe he's the second longest tenured coach in the Big Ten. Seems like just yesterday that he was hired, continues to put his imprint on this program. As you watched practice, as we have the luxury of doing, it felt to me like a very typical PJ Fleck team, and that's a good thing.
I mean, 10 years ago, he brought a different approach. I mean, I think we all would agree with that. Some of it seemed a little bit odd or a little bit corny. But when you watch the practices, I always say this when I walk away from Minnesota practices, they are the most efficient, most well-run, most organized, most energetic. If there's any coach that gets every minute out of a practice, PJ Fleck's one of them.
Yeah, and he's been doing it since day one, and that's pretty incredible that he's been able to do that, and he's really elevated the program, right? And he's set the bar, and he's moved the bar higher. And when you look at this team this year, I think they got another chance to be able to go out and do some special things, but they need to have an entire team play well. I think one of the things when you just start to think about it, what's going to help them get there, we've all talked about it, being able to run the football, being able to understand who they are or who they've been in the past to try to help this offense, continue to move forward. They have the depth at the running back position, but they've got to be able to go out and execute. And I'll be interested to watch just how this offensive line continues to gain momentum and be able to come together as the season progresses.
And the best teams always have the best quarterbacks. And, for this to be Drake Lindsey's second year, he's matured so much. You could tell when he sat with you, Rever. I mean, he's a really confident guy, and you could see how the team would feed off him. But his improvement will have a lot to do with what kind of year they have.
I want to unpack some of that. I want to go back to the run game that you were talking about, Howard. And one of the things that has struck me these last couple of years is they just haven't run the ball well. And it's so uncharacteristic of a PJ Fleck team. I mean, they were last in the Big Ten in rushing last year, which is kind of crazy. And even crazier is they still had a nice year and won a bowl game and did a lot of the things that PJ Fleck teams do. So give them a lot of credit for that. But his identity is tied up a lot in the run game. So offensive line is going to be part of that. Running back, Darius Taylor's had some injury issues. They've improved the depth, as you mentioned, particularly going into the portal. But as you look at this run game as a whole, what did you see as we watched practice?
Well, they're settled with the left-sided line in the center, right? They feel really good about that. They feel very good about it. So they're trying to find a right guard and a right tackle. And I think if you look at that whole group, they will do that. But, PJ has said, it doesn't always have to be dominant run game. If we can't be dominant in the run game, we have to find other ways to win. And I think they may wind up in that situation. We're just going to have to see. But, PJ's smart enough and a good enough coach that it might not be that way. It might be more like last year than the previous years. And we'll just have to wait and see how the season unfolds.
As much as we'd like to hold the coaches to what they've done and what they've had success at, every one of these teams is always going to be different. And you really have to play to the strength of what this particular roster is. And if it's not necessarily being able to control the line of scrimmage and throwing it around, because you can throw the football in ways that can be runs, really, when you talk about some of the things that you're able to do with this offense. But I know that's what they want to still get back to, be able to move the ball, because that loosens things up. And if they're able to protect the quarterback and throw the ball vertically down the field, I think the run game comes back quickly.
Yeah, how would you say vertically down the field? I mean, I think that was one thing that really wasn't missing today. But, it may not have been a point of emphasis. They were coming off a scrimmage from a couple of days ago, and maybe that wasn't important to them. But they're going to have to throw the ball vertically more than they did today. But it's one practice, and it's hard to say that they're not going to do that just because they didn't do it today.
No, I just think I was curious to see it just because there's a lot of turnover at wide receiver. Javon Tracy's back, and he's going to be a big part of it. Noah Jennings really stood out today, young man from Cincinnati. Number of contested catches. He's going to be a really important element to this passing.
And that's what they have to continue to get, because even if you're not hitting those big plays, you still have to have the bodies that can go get it when you need to. And when you start to build that confidence with the quarterback and the wide receivers, understanding that if I just put it in the area, He's going to have an opportunity to come down with the football. That's going to give everyone a lot more confidence. And, well, once that happens, then you're able to open up so many more things. But ultimately, they have to solidify every position, particularly you mentioned the right side. They've got to get that solidified. That's more important than being able to throw the ball vertically, because if you can't protect the quarterback, it doesn't matter. You're going to have the quarterback creating bad habits because he is on the move all the time and not comfortable.
I want to talk a little bit about the defense. Danny Collins was a first-year coordinator last year. I think there were some things that were really good. They stopped the run particularly well. They caused a lot of havoc. They're a team that can turn you over, that can get after the quarterback. They weren't great in pass defense. So how do you become better there?
Well, you study it obviously during the off season, but my suggestion would be do it by yourself, because when you see where you could have done better coaching or putting your players in a better position, it's pretty painful. But I think you just study the tape and you make the adjustments. You visit other coaches. If it's the pass game, the NFL is a place that you can go and get some different ideas and all that. So, a first-year defensive coordinator is going to learn a lot, just like a first-year to second-year quarterback. So Danny Collins, in the privacy of his own office, probably had a nice meeting with himself.
And the reality is this: is when you, as you will know, Coach, you go sit in that seat and you start calling plays for the first time. It's different. It's something that you have to get accustomed to, and also not only that part, but you also have to be able to still press all the buttons of the players. So I think as he continues to grow, because he's a personable person, so he's the type of guy that's going to be able to have those conversations with these players and get the most out of them. And anytime you have some of the star power that he has, on the defensive line, at linebacker, in the secondary, particularly at corner, that's going to ease some pain. So that's going to allow you to do some things that some other people around the country won't be able to do with the talent that he has.
I'll tell you, the enthusiasm of the defense today and the team periods and all that, it was impressive. And it was real. It wasn't, they weren't told to be enthusiastic. Yeah. I mean, they just responded to a good play by their teammates that were on the field. So it was fun watching the defense today.
And that's the culture. And this is, P.J. Fleck is a culture guy through and through. I think that's one of the things that stood out to us in the 10 years, and that at the beginning you were like, wow, there's a lot going on here. Right. But he's true to it, and he's been true to it through the years. He's built on it, and it's worked for him.
And I would say this, today was probably one of the first practices where I've seen the coaching staff really getting on the players. And one of the things that's not acceptable here is running off the field. You're running off the field no matter what. There were a number of times some young players didn't quite get that message, and Coach Fleck and his staff had to make sure they clearly understood it. But that's part of what's great about it. It's part of watching a process and watching a team come together. The young guys sometimes, may get a little lax because it's their 13th practice, thinking about a lot of other things, and they let the little things slip. And when you're a team that's right there and knows that they're going to be in close games, you can't have silly penalties, and I think that's one of the things that gets emphasized.
Always fun coming here.
Yeah. It is great.
No doubt.
It is great. And I think you guys are both making similar points, which is this is a team that's going to have to win on the margins. Special teams are always a huge point of emphasis here. Mm-hmm. We saw it again today. They win a ton of close games under P.J. Fleck. That is the model. It is